is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's 5 o'clock here on your Friday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here is what we are looking at and making headlines on this January 10th. The site of a former Marsh supermarket in Broad Ripple that has sat vacant for more than 2 years now has a new owner. Who is taking over and how neighbors are reacting to the news?
We are 9 days in the year, and it's troubling.
Metro Police urging the community to come together in the wake of 2 recent homicides. The message officers have for people across our city.
And a wet, messy night is carrying over into this morning, and there is plenty more to come. We are keeping an eye on high water levels and what you can do if you wake up to water in your home. So because of all that rainfall, we want to get straight to meteorologist Todd Clausen and your Storm Team 6 forecast.
Yeah, good morning, Todd. What's it like out there right now?
You know, it's very wet all across the area already. We had some heavy rain come through, and already flood warnings have been getting issued by the National Weather Service. The good news is, at least for your morning commute and as the kids head off to the bus stop, I think we're going to time this out fairly well. It's not perfect by any means, but what I mean by timing it out well is the heaviest of the rain is starting to shift its way off towards the east. So over the next hour to 2 hours, I think we get a little bit of a break from the heavy rain coming down pretty good right now in Richmond. Steady all along I-70 from Richmond back into downtown Indianapolis, Greensburg to Columbus to North Vernon, down towards the Seymour area. Some very heavy rainfall, but as we slide off towards the north and to the west, you notice that we're dealing with more in the way of scattered showers as you work your way up towards Frankfort and then to the west towards Covington, as well as Rockville and Greencastle. And keep in mind, everything is moving from southwest to northeast. So a little bit of a break from that real heavy and steady rainfall for the next hour or so, but there is a lot more rain to come our way. So if you do get one of these breaks, it's just going to be brief. So that's why I want you to have the umbrella at all times throughout the day today. You're definitely going to need it. There's going to be lots of big puddles on the roadways, already are from my commute into work. I noticed that, and that rain is with us from start to finish. Now, it's all rain though. Temperatures right now are in the 40s. You notice the temperatures slowly climb throughout the entire day. By 4 p.m., we're up to 56 degrees. We probably get up to about 58, 59 degrees as we get closer to the midnight hours. So you don't have to worry about any wintry precipitation, but this rain, it continues into your Saturday as well. In fact, tomorrow could even be heavier. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. The Indianapolis Department of Public Works has already been preparing for that heavy rain.
DPW says its staff has been active all week reviewing key points along levees and other flood control infrastructure. Crews from several departments will be on standby to address high water or wind issues throughout the weekend. We're also keeping an eye on a Hendricks County neighborhood that is prone to flooding.
Yeah, the residents living on Eaker Court in Brownsburg say that heavy rain and flooding routinely cuts off their neighborhood. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live from there this morning with a look at how a fix that was put into place is working out this morning. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So yeah, right now we're in Brownsburg on Eaker Court, and obviously it's not raining too hard right now. They're kind of getting that break Todd was just talking about. So before it was covered, and now, you know, they don't have much going on here. So I guess that fix is working. Let's take you back to what this looked like last year. If we can roll that video. This is where we were last year with just a little over an inch of rainfall. We spoke to Jerry Orange at the time, and she operated a daycare out of her home, and she said the poor drainage was impacting her business.
It's a big problem, and I can't seem to get anyone to do anything about it.
I spoke to Orange yesterday over the phone to check in and see if her and her neighbors were concerned. And she said since our story aired, the county did come out and worked to fix the problem. Now she says today and tomorrow will be the true test to see if their work fixed this problem. So we'll see. But right now it does look like their work, it's working. So coming up in the next half hour, we'll have some tips on what you're doing if you are waking up to water, unfortunately, in your house. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kelsey, stay dry out there. Glad to see that that is looking pretty good out there in Brownsburg. And we want to go to some breaking news we're following this morning. This is over on the city's east side. You can see here a busy scene where crews are at the scene of this house fire, and these are live pictures from the 3700 block of East Washington Street. There's no word at this time what may have started the flames here, but of course we'll bring you any new information just as soon as we get it.
This morning, IMPD officers are calling on the community to stand together after another apparent act of violence. Police found a man and a woman dead in a vehicle on Irwin Avenue on the northeast side just after 1 o'clock yesterday morning. How they died is still under investigation, but officers were called to the scene on a report of a shooting.
It's disappointing to live in our city, and we love our city, to see that this type of crimes are occurring in our city. I think the biggest thing here is that there's several different resources. There are places that people can go to for said help, and I think it's important that we as a community stand together and we can try to figure out this stuff.
The victims have yet to be identified, but we are told they were adults. If you have any information that might help solve this case, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
At 5:05 in southern Indiana now, Clarksville police are narrowing in on leads as they continue to investigate the brutal beating and robbery of an 85-year-old woman. This attack happened back on December 27th at the Farrington Apartments, a community for seniors and those with disabilities. Police say the suspect broke into the woman's home while she was out and was still there when she returned. The suspect then reportedly beat the woman and stole her purse, which was later recovered. A neighbor found her lying on the ground and she was taken to the hospital. We're told the woman is still in the hospital but is recovering well.
Call 6 Investigates has uncovered new information about the location where a deadly crash happened on I-65 Sunday. The crash happened at mile marker 130 in Whitestown, a part of Boone County known for traffic congestion. New numbers obtained by Call 6 Investigates show 10 crashes and 2 injuries happened at that location in the last year. Since INDOT added a lane in 2011, motorists have been involved in 70 crashes, resulting in 15 injuries. These numbers do not include this past weekend's deadly crash. A semi-truck driver is accused of slamming into stop traffic, killing 2 people and a child. And here's a look at the numbers from the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute. In 2015, the interchange had 2 crashes. In 2016, 8 collisions. In 2017, 3 wrecks were reported in that area. 2018 saw another 10 accidents, and in 2019, 10 crashes were reported. Dozens of people injured in these incidents.
At 5:07, a shuttered Marsh store that's been sitting vacant for years will soon have new life. We've learned that Traders Point Christian Church has purchased this building here at 67 in Keystone and Broad Ripple. The vacant property has attracted crime and vandalism, but that will all soon change. Church leaders say they'll announce how they plan to use this building later this month. While some neighbors have voiced their opposition to the church occupying the building, the manager of the hardware store across the street tells us he welcomes the development.
Anything, as long as it's occupied, is going to be an asset. That's going to bring a lot of new people to this neighborhood that don't normally come to this neighborhood. So that's great.
Some other former Marsh stores have also found new life, not as supermarkets. The location at 75th and Shadeland on the northeast side of Indianapolis is now a community health center. The store near State Road 37 and 146th Street in Noblesville is a trampoline park. And the building on State Road 44 in Shelbyville is now home to Golden Bear Preschool. And some former Marsh locations are thriving as new grocery stores. The stores on 82nd Street near Allisonville Road and 86th Street in Westfield are now Aldi's in downtown Indianapolis, and West Michigan Street store is a Kroger, and the New Jersey Street store is a Needler's.
This morning, the golf world is mourning the loss of a legend. Golf course designer Pete Dye passed away yesterday at the age of 94. He'd been battling Alzheimer's for several years. Pete was one of the best-known golf architects. He and his late wife Alice created some of the most legendary courses in the world. In 2018, their first mini golf experience opened at the Indianapolis Children's Museum. It replicates some of Dye's most famous courses and hole designs. Pete also built 22 golf courses in Indiana, including Crooked Stick and Brickyard Crossing.
A huge concert announcement for fans of country music. The Zac Brown Band is bringing the Roar with the Lions tour to Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center this fall. The show is scheduled for Friday, September 11th. The band is no stranger to the Hoosier State. Along with bringing multiple tours here, they headlined Legends Day at the Motor Speedway just last year. And in 2015, they helped to celebrate the Final Four downtown. Tickets for September's show go on sale next Friday, the 17th. Here at 5:09, it's a Storm Team 6 alert day, waking up to rain this morning, Tom.
Yeah, and the rain is going to be with us all day long, and that is why it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Here are your rain chances, and you notice they're virtually 70% or higher throughout the entire day. So that tells you have to have the umbrella handy. With it getting down to 70%, that means there's a few breaks here and there. But even when we're getting a break from the steady rainfall, that still means they're going to have that damp feel. There's going to be that drizzle around. So it's going to be a very, very wet day. So as you grab that cup of coffee, maybe you need an extra cup of coffee for this last commute of the week, because it's going to potentially be a little bit longer for you with this rain and all the water on the roadways. But you notice the temperatures were in the 40s and 50s, and those temperatures will continue to climb throughout the entire day. And here's where we stand on Storm Team 6 radar. This batch of heavy rain is pushed off to the east, but there's a lot more down to the south that will be coming through. Lauren mentioned it earlier, and I got the alert as well. Storm Shield River flood warnings starting to come out, so you can pinpoint those to your location just in case you live in a flood-prone area. The waters will start to rise over the day today, and more rain tomorrow. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Iranian authorities have invited the U.S. and Boeing to take part in an investigation into Wednesday's deadly Ukrainian Airlines crash. Straight ahead, the details on the about-face and what investigators believe caused the passenger plane to go down.
Navigating the airport could soon be a lot easier. Coming up, how Delta is working to improve the way you get your flight information. We'll be right back.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV6.
It is 5:14. Here is a live look right now over on the east side, I-70 and Shadewood Avenue. You can see traffic is moving along smoothly in this area. Watch for areas of flooding and higher water today. If it normally floods when it rains a lot, just use caution in those areas of your neighborhood. We have reports of Sherman Drive, Southeastern Avenue on the east side getting flooded, so just use caution heading out there this morning.
New this morning, Iran has reversed course, now extending an invitation to Boeing and the U.S. to participate in an investigation into Wednesday's deadly Ukrainian Airlines crash. This comes after video appears to show the plane being shot down by missiles. A missile can be seen heading upwards right before impact. Another video posted by a resident outside of Tehran shows the plane apparently on fire, breaking apart, crashing 3 miles away. Both videos reinforcing Western intelligence that says Iran's anti-aircraft systems hit the plane.
This new information reinforces the need for a thorough investigation into this matter. Canada is working with its allies to ensure that a thorough and credible investigation is conducted to determine the causes of this fatal crash. As I said yesterday, Canadians have questions, and they deserve answers.
Somebody could have made a mistake. Some people say it was mechanical. I personally don't think that's even a question, personally.
Iranian officials continue to deny shooting down the jet, calling it scientifically impossible. But overnight, the crash scene was cleared of wreckage and potential evidence. In New York, surveillance video taken from outside Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell on the day of his apparent suicide no longer exists. The disgraced financier was at the Metropolitan Correctional Center awaiting trial for federal sex trafficking charges. Prosecutors say the surveillance video was not properly preserved, and a copy from a backup server was also lost. According to an FBI investigation, officials at the jail reportedly saved video from the wrong floor, and as a result, video from Epstein's floor was not saved.
At 5:16, the suspect accused of stabbing multiple people inside of a rabbi's home during a Hanukkah celebration is now facing new federal hate crime charges. Police say 37-year-old Grafton Thomas injured 5 people with a machete as they were lighting the candle on the 7th night of Hanukkah. The U.S. Attorney's Office says that they targeted the group because of their religion. Prosecutors reportedly found handwritten journal entries at Grafton's home with an anti-Semitic sentiment and searches on his phone for locations of area temples. He now faces 10 federal hate crime charges, each carrying a potential life sentence.
Weather and climate events across the country last year cost $45 billion. That's according to data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. From the East Coast to the West Coast, several states experienced catastrophic hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, and wildfires. In all, the U.S. saw 14 events in 2019 that brought more than $1 billion each worth of damage. Almost half of that came from flooding of the Missouri, Arkansas, and Mississippi rivers. And speaking of flooding, that is something people here in central Indiana are going to be keeping an eye on today, Todd.
Yeah, already rivers are starting to rise. We had the National Weather Service issue some river flood warnings across parts of central Indiana already this morning, and there's a lot more rain to go, and I'll highlight those river flood warnings for you in just a second. Here's where we stand on Storm Team 6 radar right now. We're getting a little bit of a break to the west, but still some light to moderate rain, and it's steady from Newcastle through Knightstown into Cambridge City over towards Richmond. To the south, some heavy rain moving out of Columbus now through the Westport area. Greensburg, some steady rain. It's steady rain all along I-65 through Bartholomew County up into Johnson County in the Franklin area, but in and around the metro area, starting to get a little bit of a break from that steady rain and even less in the way of shower activity the further north you go. So this will be the case throughout the day today. The heavy rain will kind of come at us in waves, but then there will be some dry hours mixed in at times. So it's not a steady rain from start to finish throughout the day today, but you always need to have the umbrella handy, because if you see one of those breaks, it is not going to last very long. Look at this rain. It stretches all the way back down into Arkansas, and this is just out ahead of the area of low pressure itself. That is still well down across parts of New Mexico, so it's a bit of a 1-2 punch for us, as the rain today will be moving from southwest to northeast across the area. By the time we get to the lunch hour, still some scattered showers around, but not that real solid heavy rainfall that we dealt with earlier this morning. And then as we work our way into the dinner hour, if you have Friday evening plans, I don't think you need to cancel them. Just know it's going to be wet, it's going to be damp, and there's still going to be some showers around. And then the next round of heavy rain will be that area of low pressure that'll come through. It looks like at this point tomorrow morning is when that heavy rain comes through, with the potential tomorrow of the added element of some thunderstorms. So today I don't think we really have to worry about any thunder and lightning, but tomorrow there will be the potential for some thunderstorms, and tomorrow the wind really starts to kick in as well, and the showers will be with us throughout the entire day, maybe in northern locations ending as a mix of some snow showers, but even there, no accumulation. So we're still looking at 2 to 4 inches of rain, not all today. This is overall through the duration of this entire event. Some areas could be over 3 inches of rain. The bright green spots you see here, those are river flood warnings. It includes the White River up in the Nora area, over along the Wabash, and then down to the south near Bloomington. The counties you see filled in, that is where we have the flood watch that is posted. Temperatures now to 50 degrees in Indy, and these temperatures will continue to come up throughout the day today. That's the good news. It's a mild day. 56 degrees by the time we get to the afternoon hours. Our high today will be right around 58 degrees. That occurs shortly before midnight. Heavy rain again tomorrow, up to 64, then colder but quiet weather works in for Sunday and Monday. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a live look right now at traffic up on the north side, I-465 and Michigan Road. You can see traffic here is moving along just fine despite the really wet roads we're dealing with this morning. It's already picking up, lots of headlights out there. So that's what your north side commute looks like. But let's take a look at our traffic now map, as we are monitoring a few issues already this morning. As you're leaving here in the downtown area, heading away from the South Split going, or rather towards the South Split going eastbound on I-70 at Meridian Street, the left lane is closed right now for a crash cleanup. So keep that in mind as you travel into the South Split. On the south side, we're monitoring a right lane closure and slow down on westbound I-465, the East Street exit US 31 due to a crash cleanup. We'll continue to monitor any issues and also areas of flooding. Use caution out there.
E-scooter company Lime is shutting down operations in 12 cities across the globe. The company says it will stop service in Atlanta, Phoenix, San Diego, and San Antonio, and some Latin American cities. As of now, Indianapolis is not affected. 14% of staff worldwide will also be cut. Lime says it's struggling to make a profit amid low ridership and regulatory changes, including bans on nighttime riding and high fees to operate.
Delta Airlines is piloting parallel reality technology at a Detroit Metropolitan Airport. The new system only shows you the information that's relevant to your trip and your destination. About 100 people will be able to use the screen at the same time, each seeing personalized information in their preferred language. To try the screen, a customer scans their boarding pass on the boarding pass scanner. Delta says the goal is to make it easier to move around the airport and to cut down on stress. It even includes directions to your departure gate or the weather at your destination. Taco Bell is bringing in the new year by offering big perks to its employees. Coming up, we'll have the details on the new benefits that could have some workers seeing a six-figure salary. Sign us up.
And state lawmakers are stepping up to remove some of the roadblocks many prospective parents have faced. This is the incorrect video, obviously, but coming up at 5:30, we'll tell you about an effort to help Indiana families looking to adopt children in need. We'll be right back.
At Ruby Tuesday.
Taco Bell is starting 2020 with some new perks for workers, including offering a six-figure salary. Some employees here in the Midwest and the Northeast can now earn up to $100,000. The fast food chain is testing out the higher salary for general managers. Typically, those supervisors make between $50,000 and $80,000. Also, for the first time, employees will be eligible for sick time, paid sick time, that is. Workers at corporate-owned locations will be eligible for 24 hours of paid sick time a year. The fast food company says it hopes those benefits will help keep employees happy and increase retention. You know, I've never thought of a career at Taco Bell, but now I'm
you're really thinking about it. Very cool. Good for them.
I probably would be a terrible Taco Bell manager.
Taco Bell manager.
But, you know, that's about the heart, right?
Yeah. It's all about retaining people these days.
Yeah.
So. All right, outside right now, it is wet to start your Friday. It's going to be wet for your lunch hour. It's going to be wet for your Friday evening. And the start of your weekend, it's going to be wet as well. A lot of rain is going to continue to head our way. We've dealt with the first wave of heavy rain, but as you see on Storm Team 6 radar there, we are dealing with more coming in our direction. So have the umbrella handy. You will need it throughout the entire day today and tomorrow. In fact, the rain tomorrow is probably heavier when we add a few thunderstorms in as well. At least it's mild today and tomorrow before cooler temperatures, but drier weather arrives for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll talk much more about the rain coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:27. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV 6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Good morning. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Heavy rain is falling across central Indiana right now, and this is only the beginning. Let's check in right now with Todd Clausen to see how much rain we can expect today. Todd.
You know, today we're looking at about 1 to 2 inches of rain and then an additional 1 to 2 inches tomorrow. So it's a very, very wet stretch of weather for us here across the area. Here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar right now. The eastern portion of the state still dealing with the heaviest and steadiest of rain. Newcastle up to Winchester, Portland, and into the Richmond area. We're dealing with some pretty good rain still falling from Nashville to Columbus back into Bloomington, as well as Greensburg. But as we slide to the north, it's just some light scattered showers in and around the metro area and points to the north. So the further south and east you live, if you're walking out the door right now, you're going to be dealing with a fairly steady rain. But if we can wait another hour or so, the rain will be probably a little bit lighter, especially in northern locations. But this is just the start of, again, a very wet stretch of weather. Look how far to the south that this rain extends, and it's all going to be heading our way throughout the day today. So if you get a few breaks here and there, consider yourself lucky. But even if you walk outside and there's no rain falling from the sky, have that umbrella handy or the rain jacket, because likely if you run your errands, more showers will start to move in. The good news is it's mild today. Once again, this is all rain. Temperature is right around 50 degrees right now. It's a slow but steady climb to the mid-50s by this afternoon, with highs eventually by midnight close to 60 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a live look at your wet roads up on the northeast side, I-465 here in Binford Boulevard. Traffic's moving along just fine through this spot, but you'll want to use caution for any ponding you may run into on the roads this morning. We are monitoring a few issues already at this early hour, like an inverted vehicle on the northwest side, I-465 and 56th Street. Some issues causing lane closures include a crash here in the left lane, eastbound I-70 at Meridian Street, so take it slow heading into the south split. And then right here on the south side, monitoring a right lane closure for a crash along westbound I-465 at US 31. That's the East Street exit. You can see traffic in that area is still traveling up to speed early this morning. Let's take a turn right now, again down to the south side, I-465 at Harding Street. This is a live look at your south side commute. With all that rain, we're going to keep a close eye out for any crashes or delays throughout the morning and keep you updated. Now, as Todd mentioned here, about 4 inches of rain expected to fall over the next 2 days. If your house is in one of those those areas known for flooding, you may want to be on high alert already this morning.
Our Kelsey Anderson is working for you this morning with tips on how you can protect your home. And Kelsey, you're in a neighborhood that is notorious for flooding whenever it rains.
That's right, Meredith. This neighborhood here on Eaker Court in Brownsburg is known for flooding, but yesterday we spoke to residents who say that the county actually came out and fixed it, and this is going to be the first test. So they're hoping that they don't have any problems today or tomorrow with that rain rising in their neighborhood. So, but if you are one of those unlucky people who might have to deal with the rain, and if you're waking up to water in your house this morning, here's what you need to do in the next 24 hours. Take pictures before you remove anything so you can fully document the damage for your insurance company. Protect yourself while removing water and damaged items. Experts recommend wearing waterproof boots and rubber gloves. Call your insurance company to report the claim, and then once you get the okay from your insurer, you can remove the water and get rid of any mold and moldy items.
First thing you need to do is reach out to your insurance company and find out what your coverage is. But you also need to call somebody like us who offers a 24-hour mitigation service to try and get that water out as quickly as possible. Mold can start growing within 72 hours. That's a big problem for families, as well as the personal property. The quicker you can get the water out, the more likely you can save your personal items.
Experts say if you have a sump pump, you should be getting it checked at least once a year to make sure it's working properly. And for all drivers over the next few days, we just want to urge you to be cautious. As we were driving over to Brownsburg, we did notice some water seeping onto those roadways. So if you see that, you want to slow down. And of course, if a roadway is completely covered, you want to turn around, don't drown. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Great reminders. Thank you, Kelsey. We do want you to know we're following breaking news. This is over on the city's east side. That's where crews are at the scene of a house fire. These are live pictures from the 3700 block of East Washington Street. There's no word yet what may have started the flames, but we'll bring you any new details and information just as soon as we get it.
Police say a man found dead on the south side of Indianapolis may have been killed in a hit and run. A body was found on the side of the road.
Body was found on the side of the road near the intersection of State Road 135 and Thompson Road. This is on the south side. It happened around 7 o'clock last night. A woman tells RTV6 shortly before she found the man dead, she called 911 after seeing the man walking in the middle of the road.
It was very terrifying. I cried and had a panic attack on my way to my husband's work.
Police are not sure what kind of vehicle hit the man and have not released any information yet on a possible suspect. Of course, we'll keep you updated. At 5:35, a 13-year-old girl is under arrest for starting a fire that destroyed a home up in Tippecanoe County. The fire broke out just after midnight Wednesday in the 2200 block of Longspur Drive in Wabash Township near West Lafayette. Investigators confirmed this was an arson case, and they arrested a 13-year-old girl who lives in this area. She is being charged with arson, and will continue to keep you updated on this case as we learn more details.
A historic door at the Bartholomew County Courthouse is destroyed after a tirade in the courtroom. Authorities say a man yelled obscenities at a judge who sentenced him to jail on drug charges and then smashed a 19th century glass doorway as he was being let out. 33-year-old Jermaine Ford used his body to swing the courtroom door so hard it hit the wall, shattering the glass panel. Officials say the door was made in 1874 and was original to the Columbus courthouse.
At 5:36, lawmakers are taking action this session to help Indiana families who want to adopt children in the foster care system. Currently, Indiana foster parents receive a state per diem to help offset costs for things like food and clothes. But when they want to adopt that child, many parents say the Department of Child Services has offered payments as low as $1 a day. Senator David Nizgoski has introduced a proposal that would create a minimum adoption subsidy of at least 50% of what the foster family currently receives from the state.
We know that when you go to adopt, obviously you love those children, but the financial means of these adoptive families or parents, they are not changing, and the needs of the children are not changing either. So the adopted subsidies should not change.
Well, the bill would also make it clear that DCS and the court system cannot consider adoption assistance or subsidies when determining whether to place a child in the home.
Another Macy's store is closing in Indiana. The retailer confirmed it will be closing its store at the Muncie Mall. It's one of 30 stores in Macy's latest round of closures. A clearance sale will begin this month and will run for about 8 to 12 weeks. Then the store will close. A spokesperson released a statement that said in part, the decision to close a store is always a difficult one, but Macy's is proud to have served the Muncie community for the past 24 years, end quote.
At 5:37, a hearing on the plan to allow a health clinic to operate at a Broad Ripple Park is now delayed. The issue is set to go before the Department of Metropolitan Development on February 5th. The new community center project is set to break ground in the next few months, pending the outcome of a few more hearings. The facility would include a primary care facility for Community Health Network. We told you back on Tuesday that some of the neighbors here are still fighting that proposal.
We're learning more about a program that can help fast food workers get on the fast track through college. Classes start Monday for IE Tech and McDonald's new statewide program. Archways to Opportunity provides tuition assistance to McDonald's employees who have worked 90 days at a minimum of 15 hours per week. Naomi Craven is a graduate of the program. She says she never thought she would be able to afford college.
I was one of those people, I never thought I would be able to go, but then I did, and I'm very excited that I am. I mean, if you're a person who has no money or no means, this is a very good program to start with.
Campus leaders say you still have time to enroll for classes on Monday, but if that's too soon for you, the next 8 weeks of classes start in March. You can find more information on our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
At 5:39 this year, you're getting extra time to enjoy the Circle of Lights here in downtown Indianapolis. The display was scheduled to come down this weekend, but downtown Indy says that it's being delayed until next Saturday, until the 18th, and that's due to rain in the forecast. No shame, I still have my tree up right now at home. The Carmel Festival of Ice is also making some schedule changes because of the weather. All Saturday activities are canceled, but ice carving and other events will go on as planned today and Sunday. The sculptures will be located all along Main Street, with the carving beginning at 4 o'clock. All right, let's check in with Todd right now as folks are heading out on the roads. Todd, they'll need to watch for those areas of flooding.
Yeah, there'll be some big puddles on the roadways across all of central Indiana. So as you take to the roadways, I'm going to give you the red light, the extreme caution here, because the windshield wipers, they're going to be working overtime. You're going to get that spray from the car in front of you. And as Lauren mentioned, there's going to be some big time puddles on the roadways as well this evening. Not much changes. The rain continues across the area. And so it's going to be a wet commute throughout the entire day today, even during the middle half of the day. If you're thinking about lunch outdoors, you may want to think again and bring your lunch here this morning. Here's the rain. It's making its way through the area this morning. It's a little lighter and more scattered in northern locations, but there is a lot more rain back off to our west. This has to stream through during the day today, and then the actual area of low pressure comes through during the day tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up here in Maine Weather in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. The House taking action against President Trump with a resolution over military action in Iran. Coming up, why Congress says the president's decisions should require their approval.
And 2 people are hurt after being attacked by coyotes in Chicago. Still ahead, the latest on police efforts to capture these dangerous creatures. It is 5:40. We'll be right back.
Gens XR, an injection.
Welcome back. It is 5:44. We have slowdowns right now heading into the south split due to a crash. You can see it in the left lane of your screen. Traffic working to get around that, but traffic's already pretty busy here heading in and out of the downtown area, and we have lots of rain out there. The camera bouncing around a little bit with the weather, so just use caution heading to work or school this morning.
The Democratic-controlled House now approving a resolution limiting the president's war powers amid the conflict with Iran.
President Trump defended his decision at a rally late Thursday, saying the Iranian regime was looking to blow up a U.S. embassy. ABC's Megan Tefrizian has the latest.
At his first rally since ordering that fatal drone strike against Qasem Soleimani, President Trump saying the Iranian commander was planning attacks on multiple U.S. embassies.
He was looking very seriously at our embassies, and not just the embassy in Baghdad, but we stopped him, and we stopped him quickly, and we stopped him cold.
And Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Fox News echoing the president's remarks.
There is no doubt that there were a series of imminent attacks that were being plotted by Qasem Soleimani. We don't know precisely when, and we don't know precisely where, but it was real.
But several senators briefed on the intelligence say there was no mention of a plot to bomb an embassy. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying the president's actions endangered U.S. service members and diplomats.
the president to say, oh, I inform you by reading my tweets. No, that's not the relationship that our founders had in mind.
That's one of the reasons House Democrats and some Republicans approved a resolution requiring the president to get congressional approval for any future military action against Iran that lasts longer than 30 days.
It is this body that needs to make that decision, and the United States Senate.
The White House calling the War Powers Resolution, quote, ridiculous and completely misguided.
Would you go to Congress to take further military action against Iran? Would you seek congressional approval?
It would all depend on the circumstance. I don't have to, and you shouldn't have to be able, because you have to make split-second decisions sometimes. Sometimes you have to move very, very quickly, John.
On Thursday, an Iranian general threatened more attacks by proxy forces in Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, and Afghanistan. The Trump administration says the United States remains ready, adding the regime still poses a very real threat. Megan Tavrizian, ABC News, New York.
Well, demonstrators across the country are calling for peace between the U.S. and Iran. Back here in Indianapolis, there was a few people who gathered on Monument Circle last night in a silent demonstration. The organizers spoke before the event saying no one benefits from war.
We've sunk trillions of dollars into wars that have done nothing but destabilize the region and displace or kill millions of people.
Several anti-war demonstrations were also held in cities like San Francisco, New York City, and Miami.
The U.S. and China have announced a step forward to end the trade war. Chinese officials confirmed they are sending a delegation to the U.S. next week. President Trump says both countries will sign a, quote, very large and comprehensive trade deal on the 15th. Exact details on the agreement have not been released. President Trump also said discussions on phase 2 will be happening in Beijing, but so far a date has not been set. Here at 5:47, let's check back in with Todd and our rainfall.
Yeah, it's a Storm Team 6 alert day as we continue to deal with the rain. So throughout the day today, we'll have these waves of rain coming through. It's heavy at times, and then even heavier throughout the day tomorrow. So the rain we're dealing with right now is just all out ahead of the area of low pressure, the center of the storm system. The center of the storm in the front does not come through until tomorrow, and I think that's when we're going to get into the heaviest of the rain throughout the duration of this entire two-day event for us. So here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar. You notice it's a lot more active to the south compared to the north. So in northern locations, it's damp, it's dreary. You got some scattered showers in and around the Frankfort area, Tipton, up towards Kokomo, but the rain isn't all that heavy. We slide down to the south, some pretty good rain moving in once again to the Rockville and Greencastle area. Light rain moving back into downtown Indianapolis. And then as we slide to the south, some heavy rainfall impacting I-69 as you work your way south of Bloomington and eventually down towards the Evansville area. And this is all going to move into Bloomington within the next few minutes. Some heavy rain in Nashville, as well as just south of Columbus into North Vernon and Seymour. And then as we slide up towards the Richmond area, you're having a light but steady rainfall moving through right now. So it's going to be a wet drive no matter where you are. It's just a matter of you have scattered showers to the north or steady rain to the south, but have the rain gear handy. There's a lot more rain heading our way. This wave of rain will push through during the morning and into the afternoon hours. I think we get a little bit of a break this evening with just some spotty showers before the area of low pressure, which is just now starting to strengthen, heads our way. So I'll roll through TrueCast for you hour by hour, and you'll just kind of get the idea here that you'll need to have the rain gear handy. By the time we get to the afternoon hours, again, a little bit of a break that may linger into the evening hours, but then the heavier rain comes back in throughout the overnight hours. And Saturday morning, as this comes through, it's not a question. There could be some gusty winds and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. Don't be shocked if you hear that tomorrow morning when you're laying in bed, may even wake you up. And then throughout the afternoon hours, some pretty good steady rain continues before it finally starts to taper off on Saturday evening. We are still looking at the rainfall potential of about 2 to 5 inches of rain across the area. Flood watches are posted, and as far as river flooding goes, it's likely going to be taking place from Terre Haute up towards Lafayette. I think we could probably shift this a little further into the metro area as well, as the storm track is bringing the heavier rain into southern locations, and these bright green areas areas where you see right here, that's already where we have river flood warnings that are posted. The good news out of all this, at least it's rain, right? It's mild. Temperatures are in the 40s and 50s. I know there's some snow lovers out there, but most of us are probably happy that this is rain compared to a lot of snow if the temperatures were colder, but these temperatures will moderate. Our high today is probably about 58, 59 degrees. That occurs right before midnight. Tomorrow into the low to mid 60s before that cold front comes through. And then you see the temperatures cooling off for Sunday and Monday, but those highs, Lauren, are still above normal.
All right, Todd, thank you. We are monitoring still these crashes on the interstate. Taking a look right here near the downtown area, eastbound I-70 approaching Meridian Street, and the south split. The left lane is blocked. We want to show you that from our INDOT traffic camera in the area. It's frozen, but you can see the flashing light there right in the middle of your screen. That is the crash cleanup blocking the left lane. Traffic is heavier, and we do have the rain out there, so use caution this morning.
The city of Chicago is trying to wrangle coyotes after 2 reported attacks. Officials say this could be the first time ever that coyotes have attacked humans in the entire state of Illinois. In one incident, a man was bitten. The second, a passerby reports pulling the wild dog off of a 6-year-old boy who was bitten in the hand. One coyote was captured last night on the city's north side. Both victims are recovering at the hospital and are expected to be okay. The car in one of the most notorious Hollywood car chases could soon be yours. After the break, how much this legendary Mustang could cost at auction. We'll be right back.
FanDuel Sportsbook, more ways to win.
It is 5:54 on a rainy Friday, and here's a look at our camera bouncing around here in the winds. I-70 and West Street as you're approaching the downtown area. The left lane is blocked, as you can see, due to a crash cleanup. We'll continue to monitor crashes around the interstates. Use caution. Watch for ponding.
The car featured in one of the most famous movie car chases ever is up for auction. It is a green Ford Mustang GT driven by Steve McQueen in the 1968 movie Bullitt. The car is considered by some to be the holy grail of movie cars and is estimated to sell for $3 to $4 million. After the movie was made, the car was sold to Warner Brothers, a Warner Brothers employee, that is, and it was used as a regular family car. The man's son later restored it to its authenticity. The famous Mustang will be auctioned off tonight in Florida.
Yeah, the car here featured in one of the most famous car movie scenes ever. Again, is up for auction. We'll continue to keep you updated on that story.
No, that was a little. We just want to tell you again.
It was so good. We want to show you again. Yeah,
probably not a good car to take out, though, in today's weather time.
Yeah, you'd be slipping and sliding around. That is for sure. You need to use caution on the roadways. They're wet. There's big puddles everywhere. We've seen a lot of rainfall already overnight, and as you can see, Storm Team 6 radar here is completely active. The good news is you see the temperatures here. We're in the low 50s across the area, so this is all just rain, but still give yourself some time. Have the umbrella handy throughout the entire day. We'll be dealing with this rain throughout the entire day. Heavy at times. There'll be a few breaks mixed in, but overall just an extremely wet day for us with a high temperature eventually getting up to 58 degrees. The rain, that continues tomorrow as well. More on that coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:56. Stay with us. We'll be right back.